Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with you all today. All right, let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so I have some things that I am working on that I want to share. So the first one is the 2x2 hat by Anne Guinan. This hat is amazing. I am enjoying it so much. Now, this is a free pattern. And of course, everything that I talk about today will be linked in the description box below. And so the yarn that I used is by Indigo Mountain Dye Works. It's a DK weight base. It is amazing and squishy. And the colorway is called Gray Mouse. No, Mouse Gray. Mouse Gray is the colorway name. Now this yarn, per skein is 240 yards, 100 grams, and it is 100% Peruvian Highland wool non-superwash. It's lovely. So the needle size that I am using is a number 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter. Did I say crochet hook? I hope I didn't. But anyway, knitting needle. I've been crocheting earlier today, but this is a knitting video. But yeah, so this is a 4 millimeter knitting needle. And because of the ribbing, the sizes can be customized. So as it is, this will fit a 21 to 22 inch head circumference. However, if you continue the ribbing, it can fit up to a 23 to 24 inch head circumference. So I think it's fantastic. And what you do is basically just work all the way up. And if you want to add more stitches, you can add more stitches before the crown decrease. And so the pattern calls for a worsted weight yarn. However, I am using a DK weight. And this yarn is pretty plumped to be a DK. I would even say that this is more of a heavy DK. Words. This is more of a heavy DK than just a regular DK. So yeah, that's why I felt comfortable using it. You know, even though the pattern calls for worsted weight. Anyway, it's amazing. I love the ribbing. I love the stretch of it. It's really cool. And I am making this hat for my husband. He appreciates nice colors like this. So I'm making this for him. And he's very knit worthy. I enjoy making hats for him. And he wears them, of course. Now, this is non-superwash. So I told him, I was like, do not put this in the washing machine. Okay? Do not put this in a washing machine, because I'm pretty sure if you put this in the washer and dryer, it's probably going to felt, and it's going to go from being a hat to a basket. It's going to be a nice felted basket, and that's not really what we're going for today. But yeah, so this hat has been keeping me company. As I mentioned, my husband had knee surgery, and I actually I casted it on at home the day before his surgery, and I worked on it all throughout his surgery, and I have worked on it at every doctor's appointment since then. So it's just really been like a good companion project to help me just kind of pass the time as I'm waiting in the waiting rooms. So yeah, it's been great. So right now I have split the stitches into 4 sections, and I have begun the crown decrease. So I think it's going to be really nice. I'm excited to see the crown. Yeah, I'm really excited to see the crown because I think it's going to look really cool. But anyway, and then once I get to a point where I can't squish anymore on this 14-inch cable, then I'll switch over to DPNs. I happen to like using DPNs. Let me know if you all like using DPNs or not. I personally enjoy it. All right. Moving on, y'all. Okay, so the next project that I want to share, I am super excited about this one. And actually, I am going to be making a separate video about this one. And I'm just going to show you all a little bit. So, here it is. Isn't it fabulous? This is the year-round Popover sweater by Melissa Georges, aka Homebody Fibers. I love it. It's just been so fun to make, and the pattern sizes for this sweater goes from a 32 to 64-inch bust circumference, which is great. It can fit a lot of different people. Now it is a paid pattern, and I'm loving it. I have learned a lot of new skills. As I mentioned, I am going to do a totally separate video showing this sweater because I really want to go into details about it. But for right now, I'll let you know I am using Knit Picks Swish Worsted Weight yarn in the Amethyst Heather colorway. And so I have 10 or 12 of these balls total. I can't remember. But each skein is 50 grams, 110 yards. This yarn is amazing. It's really, really squishy. And just looking at this yarn, so this is a worsted weight yarn. And this is classified as a DK. But to tell you the truth, they look identical. They really do. So either this is really a worsted or this is really more like a DK. I don't know. I think that's the thing that's so hard to understand when it comes to yarn, is that different manufacturers classify things differently. So it's kind of like I was using Knit Picks Swish Bulky, I believe it's called. And y'all, that yarn did not seem like a bulky weight to me. It was more like an Aran weight, but to them it was a bulky. So gauge swatching, that's why it's so important, because just because they say it's a DK doesn't necessarily mean it's going to knit up like a DK, and that can definitely throw you off a little bit. Anyway, so that is the yarn. I am using a US 10.5, which is a 6.5 millimeter knitting needle, and I did wet block my swatch. And so, yeah, I did that. Also, I have tried it on. I love the fit. And I am knitting this for Young Folk Knits, aka Casey. I am knitting this for her Bougie Sweatshirt KAL. It's so fun. I was a little concerned that I might not get this done by the deadline, you know, but I think I'm doing well. I started on it pretty late. But right now I just have to do the sleeves, I have to do the neckline, and I'm not sure what else I have to do. Of course, I'm going to need to block it, but we're almost there. We're almost there. All right. I do have some finished objects to share with you all. So the first one I am going to do, which is a bit of a fail. But anyway. Here it is. Here is the infamous Novice Cardigan Chunky Edition. Okay, so here it is. This this cardigan is available in sizes from a 37-inch to a 65-inch bust circumference. It is a pay for a pattern. And so the yarn that I am using is Malabrigo Chunky. It's a bulky weight yarn, and the colorway is Marine. The color is beautiful, just beautiful. And each skein has 104 yards, 100 grams, and it is 100% superwash merino wool. So squishy. I love the tight twist of this yarn. Like, this yarn is not going to split on you. It has a very tight twist, and I think that is awesome. This is how much I have left. It's probably, I don't know, maybe half a skein is left. But anyway, y'all. Oh, I did want to share. I did use a US 6 millimeter knitting needle, and I also used a 10.5, which is a 6.5 millimeter. So one for the body, one for the ribbing. Now, here's the sad part. I am going to have to rip this cardigan completely out. Yes, y'all. I gotta start over. I gotta start. It's just too big. It's just too big, and it's my fault. First of all, when I did my gauge swatch, I did not wet block and pin the swatch like I've done before. I don't know why I didn't. I just got excited about this cast on. So therefore, my gauge was off from the beginning. Also, this cardigan has 6 inches of positive ease. 6 inches of positive ease. So I should have went down a needle size or more. Anyway, yeah. So I did try it on, and the sweater, it fit. It was a little big on me, but I was like, you know, that's fine. I'll be layering it with something else anyway. But I wet blocked it. I didn't even pin it. I just simply, I wet blocked it. I, you know, towel dried it, and I just laid it out on the table. And y'all, it is way too big. When I make this cardigan again, I am definitely going to steam block it. I don't really know anything about steam blocking, but I've been watching some YouTube videos trying to figure out how to do it. And so, yeah, I ended up using 10 skeins on this. And I think that's another reason why, like, I want to just completely rip it out. Because I thought about, okay, I could gift it to somebody, or maybe I can just wear it, like, around the house. But, y'all, I bought 10 skeins. In fact, I had originally bought 9 skeins, and I panic ordered for the 10th skein. And, yeah, which is why I need to make sure that this is done correctly, because this cardigan was an investment, and so it just needs to be done correctly. I will show you all the buttons. So these are buttons. I love these. The only problem is I think they might be too big for the cardigan, because they kind of like flop over a little bit. So I don't know. I'll have to see on that. But I mean, I love it. I love the pattern. I love the way it looks. Yeah, everything about it is wonderful. But it is just too big. And it's just not practical. Like, I want to wear this outside the house, you know? Like, it's just not practical. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to rip this out. But I am definitely going to remake it. Hopefully, I'll be able to start on it maybe next week, because it's already getting hot here in North Carolina. Like, it's February and it's 83 degrees. 83 degrees Fahrenheit, y'all. Too hot. So, I need to go ahead and redo this now while it is somewhat cool. Not really. I mean, if it's 83 degrees in February, my goodness, I don't even want to see what June is going to bring us. So I kind of feel like if I don't rip this out and start it again now, I'm probably just going to like put it on hold until the fall. And I really don't want to do that. But I also don't want to be knitting with chunky yarn during like May and June. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But I am going to redo it. I'm actually very excited. And I wanted to actually start ripping it out like already, but I wanted to wait for this video just to kind of let you all know what was going on with this Novice cardigan chunky edition. Now, I do recommend the pattern. The only advice I'll give you is that take into account that there are 6 inches of positive ease. So, of course, make sure you wet block your swatch, because I did make a swatch. I made a gauge swatch, but I didn't wet block it, and I didn't pin it, and I should have. But if you do make this, please consider that it has 6 inches of positive ease. So when you're doing your bust measurements and things like that, really think about how you want it to fit. All right. Ooh, let's get that out of here. Okay, yarn is falling. Of course, yarn is falling. It's my channel. That's what I do. All right, so the next thing that I want to share with you all is this croissant. Look at it. It's awesome. So this, my lovely folks, is my Sophie shawl. I love it so much. Let me go ahead and unwrap this thing for y'all. All right, here we go. It's so long. And it's going. And it's going. It's still going. So here is my Sophie Shawl, and the pattern is by Petite Knit. It's a rather well-known pattern. It is a pay-for pattern, and it is available in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. I knitted the medium size, and I would definitely knit this again. But when I do knit it, I want to use worsted weight yarn, and I want to make the large size. So that's what I would like to do. And it's amazing. I love these stripes of purple that are in here. I did use 2 skeins of the same yarn. However, each skein was a little bit different. So there's a little bit more purple on one side than the other. But it's hand-dyed yarn. You know, it's to be expected. But anyway, I love it so much. And the yarn that I used is Feederbrook Farm, and it's a DK weight. And the colorway is Event Horizon. And each skein has 260 yards, which is 100 grams. And it is 100% Blueface Leicester non-superwash. It is fantastic. It feels amazing. I've already been wearing it, so it's lovely. And for those who don't know or maybe considering making the shawl, this shawl, it's worked back and forth with garter stitches, and then there is an applied I-cord that's actually worked in. So the I-cord is worked in as you go. So I'm not sure if that's called an applied I-cord, but anyway, the I-cord is worked in. It's built in with the garter stitches. So yeah, it is awesome. Now, I have not blocked this yet. However, later this week, I am going to measure it. Then I'm going to block it. And then I'm going to measure it again, because I am so curious as to how long this is and how much more longer it'll be after it is blocked. And so I will include that clip in an upcoming video. But it is fantastic. There's so many different ways to wear it. I was in the house the other day and the back of my neck was cold, and so I just took it, I just put it over the back of my neck, and it kept me so warm. And yeah, like, this thing will wrap around a few times. It feels wonderful. It really, really does. So yes, highly recommend. All right. So, oh, I did want to show you all that I had this much yarn left. Yay. So I don't know what I can do with this. It'll just go to my scrap pile, because my scrap pile is getting a little much. A little much. Okay, so I did want to share some new stuff that I got. I have a lot. Like, this whole table is full of new stuff. But let's go ahead and get started with some stuff that I actually bought at the Peace Hill Fiber Festival, which was November of last year, November 2022. However, I had not gotten the chance to show you all any of this, so yay, here it is. Okay, so the first yarn that I wanted to show you all is this yarn here. And I did pick up their business card. All right, so this yarn is by Popover Farm LLC, and they are located in Lexington, Virginia, and they specialize in lamb, poultry, and wool. So this is just simply amazing. It is super, super sheepy. In fact, there's all sorts of like hay in here, and yeah, like there's definitely a lot of, I wouldn't say grass, but like vegetative matter in here. It is super, super sheepy, but it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. They did a wonderful job dyeing this. It's just amazing. And I'll have to find out like the particular sheep that this came from, because I did like a little booth tour in their booth, and they just had a lot of amazing stuff. But my plan is to make hats with the yarn that I got from there. And these are two different colorways, but stunning. And you all know I love my saturated colors. And the fact that they were able to do this with the wool from their farm is just incredible. But that wasn't all. I also got two more skeins of this yarn, and I really, really wish I could remember the type of sheep, because he actually explained to me where each skein came from, like which sheep each skein came from. And so what is so cool about this is this one here has 3 strands. It has 2 strands of dark brown and 1 strand of like a natural sheep color, like a bear color. And then this one, it has 2 skeins, or sorry, two plies, I guess you could say, or 2 strands of the bear yarn and 1 strand of the brown. And he told me that these colors are the natural colors of the sheep. And so just the way that they, plied this together was just amazing. So this one has 2 strands of the bear and 1 strand of the brown, and then this one has 2 of the brown and 1 of the lighter color. And so they complement each other really well. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's so cool. It's so sheepy. It's amazing. And the folks that run that booth, they're so nice. I've been going to Peaceful Fiber Fest as a vendor for several years now, and our booths are kind of like diagonal to each other. And so like we're always admiring each other's yarn, because they're just amazing, and real nice folks. But while I was there, I was admiring these feathers, and I told him, I was like, these feathers remind me of my grandmother Queen, because we had chickens, growing up. And my grandmother used to snip the ends off of birds' feathers, and she would put like a ink pen cartridge in it, and we would use it to write with. And it's so cool. And so I got these from there just because they reminded me of my grandmother. And and if you grew up on a farm like me, you'll know that these are laying around all the time. And for him and his wife, the husband was the only one working in the booth that day, but his wife helps dye the yarn. And so for them to come up with like picking these off the ground, or picking these off the farm and then offering them in their booth, genius idea. But they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so the other thing that I got at the Peaceful Fiber Festival was some pottery. And so for me, there's going to be crinkling. So for me, when it comes to like going to fiber festivals, I just don't go for yarn. In fact, a lot of times I don't buy yarn when I go to fiber festivals. I like the accessories. I like the things that I can't find in stores or even online. That's what I like. So anyway, I got some pottery. This is beautiful. Beautiful pottery. It's all handmade. It's absolutely stunning. And I can't wait to put these in my office. They are beautiful. And so let me tell you a little bit about where this comes from. So this company is called Hill on Run Pottery. And they are located in Charles City, Virginia. In fact, they were like really close to where the Fiber Festival were. So they offer classes on, I guess you call it throwing pottery, but they offer classes on it, and I would love to take one of these classes, if I was over in Virginia again. And the instructor is a veteran instructor, TJ Edwards. He has over 20 years of experience in teaching ceramic to novice and advanced students. And he's taught from young children all the way up to college level classes. I would have loved to have had a pottery course when I was in college. Like, that wasn't even a thing. And so it says that he's been featured all around the world. That is cool. But yeah, they have all sorts of things. Like, they teach you how to do wheel throwing and all of that stuff. So Yes, I will leave their information in the description box below because I think it is so cool. All right. Let's move this along. Okay, so, yep. The next thing that I wanted to share with you all are some little things that I got from Freeman's Creative. They are a quote unquote local yarn shop. They're actually about an hour and some change from me, but I love going there. So, as I mentioned before, I had to emergency buy the 10th skein of the Malabrigo yarn. And I was like, oh my gosh, do you have any left? Do you have the same dye line? And she did. And I'm referring to Amelie, who is the owner of Freeman's Creative Yarn Store and Fabric Shop. And so I had some goodies in there. I did buy some pearl strings. And of course, I got them in purple. And so these will be great, you know, when I want to put stitches on hold or anything like that. And so I remember when these pearl strings first came out, I was like, okay, is this gimmicky? Because when everybody in the yarn community is doing something, I'm kind of over here like, is it gimmicky? Like, is it really necessary? But yeah, these are really cool. When you want to try on your projects, you just simply put your needles on these. And so, yeah, cool, right? Okay. So I did get a few little goodies in there. I got this pencil that says Freeman's Creative, you are creative. And so I really like that. I love pencils and pens, and yeah, just a little something to remind you that you are creative. So I like that. And I also got this little button, and it's a triangle yarn crawl button. I hope to one day finally get to go to a yarn crawl because they seem like so much fun. But it's purple. It has a little purple snail on it, and the purple, the back of the snail is purple. I love that, and it is a little button. So I'll probably put this on one of my project bags. But here it is. All right. So, oh, I have more stuff. Okay, so this is really cool. Okay. So I went to another local yarn shop, and it is called the Yarn Parlor. And the Yarn Parlor is probably like 15-20 minutes, I would say. I hadn't been there in so long, but my husband and I were going through Rocky Mount a little while ago, and I was like, why haven't I been to this store? So anyway, I stopped by. The folks were lovely. I picked up a skein of yarn because I want to make my husband another hat. And this is Cascade Yarn 220 Superwash Merino. And it is 100% superwash merino wool. It is 220 yards, 200 meters, 100 grams, 3.5 ounces. It is soft and squishy, and I just love this color. I don't see a colorway name. It just says color number 43, but it's like this really beautiful hunter green color. The next thing that I got from there is I got some stitch markers, some Crinkle stitch markers. I love the Crinkles brand, and these are so cute. They're little sweaters. They're little sweaters and little balls of yarn. How cute is that, right? Love it. And so I can't wait to use these. Like I said, I've been holding stuff until I made this video, but like after this, I am definitely going to take off the little purple sweater and use that one for sure. All right. Also, while I was there, I got some, let's see, Lava Shea lotion bar. It's shea butter and coconut oil. And this is really good for your hands because sometimes when we're knitting, crocheting, or just crafting in general, our hands can get a little dry, especially like our cuticles and things like that. And so I picked up this. It smells wonderful. She had about like 3 different scents there. And this is the one that I settled with, but it provides deep moisturizing with no greasy residue. It is made with unrefined shea butter and coconut oil. All right, cool. And they said you can use it as a daily moisturizer. So this is definitely something that I'm going to be keeping in my project bag. All right, so I did buy this little keychain that has the Kitchener stitch instructions on it. And this is actually a gift for someone. But yeah, look at that. And the last thing that I want to show you from there is the actual project bag that I got. So this is the project bag, and this part is weighted. And so you can put it on the back of your sofa, keep your yarn in it, keep your remotes in it, keep your lip gloss, your lip balm, your phone, whatever in here. And it just sits on the side, and it is really heavy. I just think this is so cool. And I have like filled this up to the max, and it holds everything. And so yeah, it just sits there. It's so neat. And it's deep too. But it has these cute sheep on it. Love it. Yeah, this is really, really cool. So yeah, you'll definitely see me using this for sure. All right, y'all. So I have links in the description box below to all my favorite knitting tools, crochet tools, filming tools, whatever. I have it linked below. Also, check out my YouTube community tab. I love reading you all's responses to my questions there. And let me know what you worked on while watching. Did you spin? Did you weave, knit, crochet? Or maybe you just watched and chill. Who knows? But let me know what you worked on. I will leave a link to my Ko-Fi in the description box below. And yeah, I'm making sure I didn't forget anything. And just thank you all so much for watching. And to continue watching, you can just simply click one of the videos on the end screen. So until next time, bye.